Okay, morning everyone. This is day 3 and quick blood test check. Not so good this morning, 13.6. Weird that. I've just had Greek yogurt, tiny bit of fruit, bit of raspberries on that, 4 or 5 raspberries, and looking like it's going to be one of those sort of days where I can't keep my blood sugars down. But there you go, that's it. We're going to take the dog out and I'll have a chat. So here we go, it's Sunday today. I like Sundays, one of my kind of favourite days of the week, I guess. Got quite a busy day ahead actually. We've got going to pick up the grandchildren. We're going to have them for a few hours this morning, then my daughter's coming for lunch, and then we've got church this afternoon. And what we're going to be doing there is I'm going to be playing as usual, because one of my favourite things on a Sunday is playing bass at church. So I'll try and, as this kind of first Sunday vlog, I may bring you along, bring the camera and see. There's Jasper up there. I don't know if you can see him actually. He's an old dog. He doesn't walk very fast or very far these days. So yeah, so you may see some of that later. We'll see how we get on, and maybe cover a few songs. Maybe we'll be allowed to put songs in vlogs. I don't know. I'll get the details of that off Josh when we're back in the office tomorrow. I'm sure he'll tell me whether that's allowed or not. Yeah, I thought this morning actually I might just talk a bit about some of the kind of ups and downs really of having a small business. Morning. One of the bigger things I guess over the last few years is when you kind of have a commercial downturn, recession, whatever you want to call it really. Where's Jasper? He's on his way. It really hit us in 2011 actually. You're kind of doing fine, things are going well, business is going great, and then you kind of walk into a fairly major downturn of business. Really not so much fun. We kind of had to downsize, we lost staff, and kind of set up a kind of tighter ship I suppose really, and it felt like you had to fight for every piece of work at that time. Some more people, some more dogs here this morning. Morning. And the problem with all of that is that you've got to pay the bills still when you're a small business owner. So 2011 really hit us hard. After the banking crisis, I thought in 2007, I thought we were going to have a hard time, but it took forever. And everyone I talked to in the industry, whether they were kind of trainers or customers actually, everyone was saying, yeah, budgets are gone, things were really getting tight. So I'm just walking back because I think Jasper may have pooped. Let's just see here. So yeah, where was I? Yeah, business downturn really. I mean, when you're small business, you really get hit by things like that in a major way, and that's what brought us here actually to where we're living now, because we downsized shortly after that, because it was just such a tough time. We kind of had a lovely big old family house in a lovely spot, and in some ways it was a real heart wrench to leave it. But the kids were going. We were kind of losing them, getting married and getting older. So we were very shortly going to be down to the 2 of us. So we just took the decision. It took us a year to move actually. I mean, I think it took us a year to sell because the market was so flat at that point as well. And anyway, we kind of downsized and came onto this this kind of really nice area. It's like kind of a modern build place, but really done quite well. It's like living on Centre Parks really. You've got these lovely woodland walks, and it's so quiet, so quiet. I mean, I'm really loving it. I'm really loving being in a house that's so cheap to run. You do a press up and it heats it for a week, and you haven't got the massive fill bills that we had in the old place, and it's really comfortable. So when you're a small business, you have to ride with some of that sometimes, and it's really unpleasant. You kind of are always hanging on. How good is the market? Is the market going to fall away from you? You're only as good as your order book, and your order book can disappear really quickly. So yeah, I think that's what it's like when you're a small business. You're always kind of looking at the precipice. yeah, just seeing whether I've still got time, because I think this camera only records 10 minutes. Yeah, you're always looking at the precipice, and what I mean by that is it's kind of, you got your order book and then nothing, and you have to keep fighting to bring that work in, otherwise you know, that precipice gets closer. You're kind of staring at the cliff top and it's a little bit too near. So you know, I really think it's such a hard game having a small business, because you have to be on it the whole time. You're constantly thinking, okay, you know, where's the next opportunity coming from, and working that. I mean, as you grow, that maybe gets easier to the extent that you've got other people helping you do that. But at the same time, you know, you've got more mouths to feed as you grow. So, you know, people talk about, you know, kind of politically, there's kind of, you know, let's tax those who have been successful, but you know, I suppose this would be a small business owner's perspective, but you kind of think those guys have put their houses on the line, put their families on the line in terms of, you know, kind of financial security and all those things, when most of us who have been in small businesses and certainly those who have grown them into big businesses could have easily got, you know, fairly senior jobs in organisations and be pretty secure and have, you know, nice big pensions. Maybe, I don't know, maybe that's not the case now, but you know, all the trappings and trimmings and, you know, a level of security. I guess corporate jobs aren't as secure as they used to be. Yeah, that's absolutely true, isn't it? But do you know what? It's nothing like having your own business where it completely kind of hangs on how well you're doing right now, and if you're not doing well right now, then you can easily go really backwards, and you end up dropping off the cliff, commercially, that is. So yeah, so if you're thinking about running a small business, or a small business yourself, it'd be interesting to get your comments and thoughts about that, really, and sort of rolling with the punches. What sort of ups and downs have you had in your kind of business career as you've been working at treading the boards, as it were? So yeah, subscribe to me on LinkedIn as well. Follow me. You follow on LinkedIn, don't you? And subscribe on YouTube. But do both those things if you find this interesting at all, because it'd be great to connect and really get some feedback and some comments and your thoughts on some of this stuff.